Actually, what I'm passionate about is bringing people out of depression. Because I've been through it. I had so many challenges. I know God actually brought me through so many challenges, but I just thank God He's helping me to getting out of it. But there's no way, you know, some people will face some challenges and they will get stuck. One way or the other, they can die of depression. So my passion is to bring people out of challenges, to let them know that life is full of challenges. You don't have to get stuck in there. You have a great calling, you have a great purpose that you are meant to fulfill. So that's my passion. And the okay, you want to talk?
Yes. Tony, you know, I heard the word depression only when I came to Europe. And I know more people here suffer from depression than in Africa. But now, when I hear some news and what is going on, I think a lot of people might be suffering from depression in silence, in our place. But people might not even know it is depression. Yeah. So I would like to challenge you to have a plan for Africa and to do research in this area. Because a lot of the problem that we see, and a lot of the reason why church is even able to take advantage of people, could be because people are struggling and they don't know their diagnosis. They don't even know it's depression, and other people take advantage of them. So I would like you to really study this and come out with some solutions and proposals on how we could handle this. And if your husband will be in agreement, maybe when we go back to Nigeria, maybe either you also have an outreach together with us. If you want to go or you want to have an outreach, you know, it's something that I'm interested in cooperating and collaborating with you people to explore and to, you know, to sponsor and to fund. I think we need to do more work on depression, as per Africa and Africans. You know, just think about that. You say you have another?
Yeah, I don't actually like seeing people suffering, especially children. I have passion to have like a city, especially in Nigeria.
City of refuge.
Yes. Which I believe God can do through me.
Yes, yes, why not? Also, go and prepare it. Go and do your plans. Go and, I see Christians, pastors, you know what they're doing? They are also doing cities. But they are doing cities for you to come and buy land and build. It's not rescue city. You see the difference? What she's talking about is city of refuge. Rescue people who don't have money, who don't have possibilities, and actually build for them and make, you know, become a refuge for them. But what pastors are doing, it's like estate for Europeans. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You are a dresser. Every day after your husband's anniversary, I've been noticing the way you come out here.
Thank you, sir. I know from Adam that I have passion for people that think they don't have hope. If you think there's no way for you, I always step in any little way I can help and do my best. Like yesterday I mentioned about my son, a medical doctor. That was a child who lived with me, you know, from Nigeria, you know, helped him, you know, all the way through. And, you know, eventually, you know, and some other stories about people that I've helped. But now because I know I was just doing it, just helping, giving a helping hand. But now I know that it's my calling, and I want to, I'm going to do whatever it takes to develop myself better, so that, because if I'm going to be a deliverer, I should first of all deliver myself, and to be able to launch out to that area of life where they are crying to God for help, so that I can help in that area and bring those people out of their own calamity. And the area I want to focus on, that I'm praying and I'm still going to ask God to receive
Direction.
to receive direction, is help sending people to school. People that can not afford, or I've never thought that it would be possible for them to go to school. I want to give them that hope to, make them achieve in life.
But you have already started working in that area.
Yes, sir. So I'm just going to intensify on that and then gain more knowledge.
But that is also connected with hopelessness. Because people who cannot go to school, that is hopeless.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
I've only had like 2 hours of sleep, so I'm kind of like.
Yeah.
So with me, I've noticed that I've always loved children. Since I was a child myself, my mom can verify, like I would sit next to the mothers of the church and be carrying their children, their babies, as a child myself. So I've grown knowing that I've always had just a genuine compassion for children. So I know that I do want to do something in that area. Specifically, I want to tie into what my mom, spoke about with the foundation and, helping children, specifically in Nigeria, with going through school and just kind of assisting them with their education. Also, with what you want to do in Africa, I feel like I have to key into that, like I said the other night. Like as I was reading Matthew 25 this morning, it was basically about the parables. I mean, it was one of the parables about the talents that God gave 3 people. So, one person he gave 5, the second he gave 2, the third he gave 1. And initially, I was like, I kind of tied like countries in Africa as the one that God gave 1 to. That they just gave away. But with all the resources that Africa has, in fact, God was the one that gave Africa 5. No, seriously. And it's as if they buried those 5 gifts, not knowing that they were given the most, thinking that, it's just.
Oh, that's a deep revelation.
And it's like other countries, other continents were given less natural resources, and they're multiplying it. If you see the things that countries in Asia are doing right now, you would be so mind blown. And yeah. I just want to key into what you want to do for Nigeria specifically, so that we can unbury those 5 gifts and build on top. No, seriously, because it's as if we don't know what God has given us as a country, as people. And we just thought that we were given the least, or we just took that for granted, whereas God gave us the most. In fact, people are even trying to find those gifts. If not, they've already found it, and God forbid they've stolen it. But I honestly want to do something with that. This HMT, like afterwards, I just want to just like kind of watch more of your messages and just read more of the word, because, you know, since my dad had passed, I've kind of, you know, fell off of, you know, opening my Bible again, you know, just because it's been kind of difficult. But it's like after this program, I want to even build on a deeper relationship with God so that I know exactly where he wants me to be. I know it has something to do with children, and I also want to key into what you want to start in Nigeria, because I know that we have so much, but we're not really doing anything with it. So I want to kind of revive that.
See, everybody living a life of purpose.
Well, for me, there are two areas very important and sensible in life. And what I would like to do and continue doing it, besides becoming or starting teaching HMT for the Spanish community in the world, which is going to impact lives anyways, because they will understand that they are equipped by God to do whatever they want to do in their calling, right? Not just to live the life, well, to live the life with purpose, not and in order, well organized. But the other two things are, from my experience and from my ministry perspective, is finances and families. Why finances is because if they know God's principles and how to apply those principles in their finances, they will allow them to be free in so many ways, free of, depression, as Tony was saying, free of so much stress, and wise to make decisions how to deal with their finances and really get more focus on what they are doing, which is their call or their calling, right? In addition, when finances are not working properly, well, it impacts lives in families. So many families have been broken because of, the disorder they have in the finances. So teaching these principles will help them solve that part, to have a more family-oriented environment to to enjoy the life, and really working or being focused on God's calling, or at least to be more focused on what God is asking them to do. That's the two areas that I would like to continue working on.
I'm a people person, and I.
The Queen of Sheba.
Really? Right, okay.
Really?
I hate suffering, and I bring solutions wherever I find myself. There's difficulty and there's problem. So like I said, I'm a people person. So I support a lot of families, a lot of people. In the paper that we signed, I put that my main thing is caring and leadership. So leadership, even on Facebook, I've picked up so many mentees that I've channeled towards going to university or setting them up in business and things like that. So I take families under my wing, I sponsor them, and bring them up until they're able to stand up on their own. This is what I do normally. That's my life. That's the whole of my life, like I said, from when I was very young. But from the caring part of it, presently, the book I wrote about the NHS, I think I have a bit of solution for actually the shortage of staff in the NHS, that I might need to explore that with probably my MP or something like that. And then that could be translated to even healthcare in Nigeria as well, that I can have a role in the healthcare in Nigeria.
So with my leadership, I do publish magazines, which is, because you said, what do we want to leave as legacy?
Yes,
the footprints that we want to leave.
Yes.
Right, okay. So educating people and bringing people up from, so I do magazines, I write books, I mentor people. So along that line, so it's, that's what I want to do and I want to continue to do.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Right. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But all I know is that from time, I've known myself as somebody who carries love. I'm a very compassionate person. And I think people who know me can testify to that. But to be honest, I don't think the testimony is what matters now. It's about what I want to do with it.
Yeah.
Now, Pastor, with everything you've taught, what is going through my mind is asking God, what am I going to do with this? What is your purpose now? If it's what I want, I can touch anybody, anytime, anywhere, but is this what God wants to do with that particular gift? Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do when I leave here is to find time, go into solitude. I've not really practiced solitude before, so I am learning. What I want to do is to go into solitude and ask God, Father, now I've come to understand your mind, what you want me to do on earth, and I've also realized the gift you've given me. How do I channel this thing? How do I convert this gift of yours to service to mankind so that your glory will be returned to you? That is what I think I'll be doing at this particular time.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I won't reach to you anyway. Let me just talk to myself. As a person, I want to major on a piece, just a little thing, and be a master and an expert on that little thing. You might want to say, what is this guy saying? Why addiction, for that matters? I believe that the issue of addictions, of all manners of substances or behaviors, have reduced people to non-entity. Have made so many potentials lost completely. People who are meant to be used to exercise God's authority and wisdom, they are being captivated, subdued by powers beyond their control because of these addictive behaviors. For you to realize it, let me tell you, most of the problem we have in the world today emanate or are related to drugs. Criminality is a daughter of drug addiction. Immoralities, broken homes, broken marriages, violence on the street, they are all related to drugs. To tackle depression, to tackle criminality, to tackle lack of orderliness, to tackle social violence, domestic violence, let's look into substance abuse. Apart from that, we now use legal system and put them in jails. When they are jailed, their future is jailed. Their potential is jailed. Their God's given purpose is jailed. How do we exhume it? Let me remind you. They now use your tax by tax to feed them. We keep them there, and they go back again because the life in the prison, they said, is even safer for them to be there. So when they are released from prison, they go back again for many reasons. So they need to be restored back to life. The life of God must come back into them. This gives me the passion. Why should these people be wasting away? Because of influences that are beyond their control. Well, people are addicted to so many things, which has reduced them, has changed them, has deformed them, has made them to lose whom God meant them to be. And I said, wow, God, When I thought, I said, I want to major on a small thing, to be an expert on that area. So if I focus on addiction then, and I make people to see drugs like thicker matter, like vomit, people will develop hatred towards it with ease. I don't need to force them. They will see that, no, I don't need to eat it. And they will leave it. But I want to use law of substitution. Your child is playing with a very sharp razor blade, and is in his hand like this. You want that child to drop it. If you struggle, that child will have a very deep cut. You have to give that child something else that looks like but safer. He will open his hand, the razor will fall down. You give him something that's less and not really very harmful at all. Give them a bit of heavenly principles that God loves them, that they are not fulfilling the purpose which God has called them. Don't struggle with them. They will see what they have in their hands as dangerous. Then they will drop it. Then you achieve heavenly goal. You now become happy as a change agent.
Beautiful, beautiful.
For me, my main purpose is to help the helpless. And the main areas that I'm primarily focused on at the moment is orphans, youths, and community. With my NGO, in the area of youth, in the area of orphans, what I do, I give them scholarship to go to school. But we don't just give scholarship for them to go to school, because my slogan is that orphans today, leaders tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if you're in my program, you are required to, I organize like a bi-monthly life skills workshop where we teach them values, teach them life skills generally, because those skills that they lack because they don't have parents to teach them. So I try to introduce that to them. If you're in our scholarship programs, you're obligated to attend for you to sustain the scholarship award. And that's what I've been doing in the area of orphans. Then in the area of youth, I empower the youth to become change agents in the community. So I organize a youth leadership conference where I get up to like 500 youths at a time in each of my conferences.
Beautiful.
And it's been successful. I've covered like 6-7 local government in my state at the moment, and it's been very effective. Now I'm trying to see how I can develop training module from the Who Am I to teach them how to discover their purpose, because I believe that is the foundation for them to be able to do exploit in whatever field they're called into. Then in the community, I go into a community, I see a problem, and I try to provide a solution. My community has been ravaged by religious crisis. I went home in the year 2015, and I said, what can I do to help? And I introduced, I realized that a lot of the youths, they like football. So I introduced a major football championship that covers up to like 6 local governments that are in that area. And that was a big news item, because that was one single event that actually harmonized everybody, and everybody is talking about it now. In fact, the 2017 edition will happen next week.
Next week?
Next week. That's
so from where you're going to Nigeria?
No, actually, I have good team that they do all these things for me. Everything I do in remote. Yes. Yeah. All majority of my programs, I do it remotely because of my mentees that I've developed, and they're able to execute most of these programs. Like my conferences, I send video speech in all my conferences, so they actually see me and hear from me. In the area of community, 2016, God put in my heart that I should build a church in a rural community. And that was in January. Then in March, I came across a picture on Facebook, actually, of people worshiping in the open, no building, to just sit outside in the church. Then I contacted the person that posted it. I said, what's happening here? They give me the story. I said, okay, I want to build in the church. Today they have a church. I was able to do that. Yes. So those are the three main areas that I'm focusing at the moment. I'm so happy to be here because I really see that I'm on track. I still have a lot of work to do to develop myself, to form in myself the needed qualities that, that I've learned through this HMT. Thank you.
Sorry, I've just been writing a few things down just in case I forget some things. Here, and listening to DSA, I thought that there was just, I could only just pick one thing. But listening to him, without going too much into it, I've discovered that God cries through me, especially in the area of the people who are hopeless. So I want to bring light and hope to the people who don't know who they are, who are hopeless, who especially in the area of young girls. I want to know that they are not defined by their disability or whether they've lost a parent or their IQ or their marks or anything like that. So I want to focus on rebuilding the young girls. If we can do that, I think we would save a lot of our women. They would not go into marriage for the sake of it. They would know exactly who they are. So that's one area. So I'm still going to go on Solitude and ask for guidance in terms of, you know, the area of the things that cries out for me, like the things that I'm sensitive to, and see how I can connect that with things that I'm passionate about, which is, of course, the area of food. So coming here has been very, very helpful in that area.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have three passions. I know there are more than that, but three main passions. The first one, I'm sure you all know it by now, is about Daddy God. Daddy God. There's nothing more, I can't even describe the word, there's no word to describe when I talk about Daddy God. Why Daddy God? Obviously, I grew up without my daddy. My daddy's still alive, he's in his 70s. And I grew up without a daddy. I don't know what it is, you know, to have a daddy, but...
You see, our tragedies, God meant them to mold us and fashion us. Yeah. The fact that she grew up without a father now gave her a ministry of introducing people to the real, ultimate father.
Yeah, it's incredible. But the area where I see Daddy God zooming in is, number one, I realize that many of us have lost our childlikeness. You know, when we were children, we knew how to explore Daddy God's world because it belongs to him. We knew how to enjoy the world. We knew how to be in awe of his creation. You know, we knew how to do that. And we just knew how to be free. And as we grew up, and as society and education and everything else began to label us, we've lost that. And I believe that Daddy God wants his children back. You know, society has stolen that childlikeness from me. So for example, if I ask every one of you, if I ask every one of you, or if, let's say Dr. Adelaja asked you to come and sit in that sofa next to him, how many of you would feel comfortable doing that? And I'm going to go deeper. What if Dr. Adelaja asked you to come and sit on his lap? What would go through your mind? Yes. Yes. Think about it. Begin to think about it. That is the damage. And yet, do you know what? Daddy God wants us to sit close on his lap. Many of us are far away. Yes, we do all the Christianese, you know, we do all Father. I mean, I'm not going to disrespect any culture, but I do know, you know, having been part of RCCG and being connected to Nigerians, Nigerians have a very poetic way of praying. You know how to pray. You know how to call down the names of God. But if I should ask you whether you have... Yes. You know how to call the majestic names of God. But if I shall come close to you and ask you whether you have a personal, intimate, warm relationship with him, I don't think I'll find that. And I'm not, you know, I'm not disrespecting your culture. This is the cry of Daddy God. So, for example, some of the things that he has taught me is like, I just want to go on a date with your daughter. Maybe we go to the cafe. And ask my daughter, she's here, to go on a date with Daddy God for cafe. Sometimes Daddy God just wants to go shopping with you. He just wants to go shopping with you. And some of the things I've done, I've gone to, some of you call it IKEA, we call it IKEA. I've gone on a date with Daddy God in IKEA, and we've looked at designs of cutlery, and he enjoys it. He doesn't want you to be doing shalababa, shalabala, shababa every day. He wants to have a practical relationship with you. You get what I mean? There's more to life than praying. We're not saying that praying is not good or reading about, but there's more to, it's just like, you know, we come in here and then we just start shouting, you know, in front of DSA, shalababa, 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 and then that's it. What kind of relationship is that? Even with your children, do your children do that? And so for me, the cry that he's put in my heart is that he wants you back. He wants that childlikeness back. When you examine your child, you realize that you were very free. You were very inhibited. And you were just you. And so that is one thing, you know, I'm going to be emphasizing more and more on. And another thing, if you realize, I realized the artistic gift that is given to me is to make it shout. So if you notice, if you look at my drawings or my this thing, they are very colorful. I believe that God wants me to shout his nature in bold colors so that people can pay attention to who he is, you know. So that's that to do with Daddy God, learning to be to be childlike at heart and just enjoy him and, you know, just be you. And the second one is I'm passionate about people who have been labeled, as in they are no good, there's nothing to their name, they don't have the X factor, and all those labels. I'm really passionate about that. And I believe that my calling in that area is to help people see the beautiful inside of them, given to them by the beautiful God, so that they can express their beautifulness to the world, and then people will look back at the beautiful God. So that's that. And the third one is to help people find good resources that will improve them in whatever area they're studying. I love to do that. So those are the three main passions I have.
Thank you.
Okay, so I will say yes, I want to be an history maker, and I want to change things. I'm already in my purpose, in my calling, in the area of ministry since years. I've rescued my life from Uncle Sam years ago also. So I'm free, I have my time, I have my liberty of thinking, so I can evolve. That's why I'm here. I have more days to stay. I have financially, I have advanced. Aussi.
Does he have to rush back to work on Monday?
No, no. I'm done with Uncle Sam. He's just a souvenir, far, far away, and that's good steps. But I can see the steps I have to do, and this HMT for me, it's not the final touch because we are always in progress, but I'm downloading the best, I'm updated to what I have to do. So I will implement this material in myself, then in my leadership also. So I want to produce people. I know what we are talking about, how much the church is perverted. Why? Because church is a great power to produce sons and daughters of God.
Yes.
That's why we have to reverse that. We have to put the truth in that and help God to produce a generation that will change everything. So my role is in that, and I want to widen my scope of ministry, and as you were saying to copy, I'm here to copy a heavenly model that I can see in you. Thank you.
Beautiful.